The Unicorn Gundam is now complete. What do you guys think? This Unicorn Gundam, although it is only a high-grade Universal Sentry Gundam kit, it is 1:144 scaled, but it has taken me quite a long time, exactly 12 hours. So I started the kit at around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I didn't get to complete it until close to 4 a.m. in the morning. It has taken me quite a long time because although this is a high-grade 1:144 scaled Gundam, it does have quite a lot of parts, and some of the parts are quite intricate and it can be very difficult to handle with your fingers. So you might want to consider using some tweezers as well as other tools to assist you. And also because this real grade is quite a small Gundam unit, so I won't be adding any coloring through airbrush, and what I have done is literally just built the Gundam and added the panel lines, and I've done some of the light polish on some of the panels. Is just to basically get rid of the simp lines and the cut marks. So I think majority of the time was spent sanding and polishing on the Unicorn Gundam parts. So what I did was I cut out the parts with the side cutter as well as the craft knife, and then I would use files like these to basically file down the cut marks as smooth as possible before I would switch to the finer sanding stick to give the really smooth polish finish. So those procedures takes a lot of time as well as a lot of your patience, so you really need to take your time to do that. But after you have invested those hours, the outcome of the model is quite rewarding. And another thing I want to point out is if you are adding the panel lines after, make sure you don't just add the panel lines and then leave it. If it's a 1:100 scale or larger, for example the perfect grade 1:60 scale, then the panel lines are okay if you just color the panel lines in and then you wipe them away. But because this is a 1:144 scale Unicorn Gundam, so those panel lines, if you color them too thick, it won't look as nice as if you leave them like those really fine lines. So I also have spent quite a lot of time trying to recolor the panel line and then clean it off to make sure those lines are thin as possible, but not that the lines would disappear. So as you can see, most of the areas I have already had the panel lines cleaned up as much as I could, but there are still some area where you could see the panel lines still look a little bit too thick to my liking, but overall it is acceptable to me and I think it looked pretty good. So with the panel liners, I have used the Tamiya grey color panel line for the white area, and where you have the darker area, for example the beam rifles as well as the backing of the shield, I used the darker color, which is Tamiya black panel liners. And then to clean up those lines, I use Zippo lighter fluid. This is recommended by a lot of the other Gundam builder. You'll be able to pick it up from supermarket as well as hardware store, so it is always good to have the lighter fluid to help you clean up the model, as well as if you have made a mistake on the panel liners, you could use this to clean it up and then redo it again. So in order to use the lighter fluid to clean the panels, I would recommend you to use Mr. Hobby panel lines cleaner. They look like Q-tips, but they are not, and I would definitely recommend you to use the proper model cleaning rods rather than using Q-tips, because Q-tips tends to leave a lot of fibers on your model, and using the proper ones, it will make your life a lot easier. So strongly recommend you to get Mr. Hobby panel lines cleaner. What else? I think those are the main tools that I have used. Obviously you might have other tools that you would prefer, but those are just recommendation. You don't really need to get them. It's entirely up to yourself. So in terms of the Gundam kit, the only thing that I have left without using, you see the sticker. There's only 5 stickers altogether. So you have sticker for the eye unit, you have the front sensor above the forehead, you have another green sticker for the sighting scope of the beam rifle, and then these two, which I haven't used, they are to cover the 2 areas next to the head, which are this part and that part. So you can see the top white area, I have already colored it myself, but the Bandai kit has provided you these stickers for the color correction, unless you would like to leave those 2 parts next to the head in translucent red, but you can see they've now turned to mainly white with the pink color showing, so which is that. The stickers is just to cover up the remaining areas. And the other things that I have got left from the Gundam kit are just those 3 polycaps, so you might want to keep them as spare. Actually it's 4 plus there's 1 extra there, so there are 4 altogether. And the other thing that you will have left is another right hand. So this one is for just for posing. I mean, it's just a closed fist, and you could use this to hold your beam saber. And it's nice that the kit also comes with the backing for the hand, so you don't have to swap out the one that's already on the Gundam unit. So that's everything that I have got left inside the Gundam kit. Everything else get used up, and the outcome of the Unicorn Gundam is quite amazing, and it does look good. As I mentioned, the unit is quite small. The measurement from ground to top of the head is about 13.5 centimeter, and to the tip of the antenna is about 14.5 centimeter. So the real grade 1:144 scale Unicorn Gundam is considered to be a palm size Gundam. So if I put another Gundam next to him, again I'll be using the 1:144 scale entry grade new Gundam, you will be able to see the new Gundam is a little bit taller than the Unicorn Gundam, and they are in scale, they are both 1:144 scale, but just that the new Gundam is actually spec'd a bit taller than the Unicorn Gundam, and especially with the Unicorn Gundam is already in its destroyed mode, so technically speaking he is already a little bit taller than his normal form. So normal unicorn form would be a tad smaller, so you will really see the difference if I have the comparison between the standard form comparing to the new Gundam. But you probably can tell through the camera that the Unicorn Gundam has got a lot more parts comparing to the entry grade New Gundam. The entry grade New Gundam just look very simplistic and very clean overall, and the Unicorn Gundam looks a little bit more complicated because it has quite a lot more parts compared to the entry grade. So I would strongly recommend you, if you have never built a Gundam kit before, is to start off with this entry grade. I think there are 3 or 4 options to choose from. The new Gundam is the latest one that came out 2022. Start with that, or the RX-78 that came out a little while ago. They're both very good entry grade Gundam kit, but just that I prefer the look of the new Gundam, and it is the latest one from entry grade. Start with the entry grade and then move on to the high grade 1:144 scale, and then when you are competent in building the 1:144 scale, you move on to the 1:144 scale real grade, which has even more parts. And what real grade is basically what the designer think the Gundam would look like in real life. So you might find the length of the arm and the legs are slightly different. The look of the actual head unit might be different. In the real grade, the joints are a lot better than the standard 1:144 scale high grade, mainly because in the real grade, you get a lot more double joints around the Gundam unit. And also I think the real grade has a lot more details and moving parts on the Gundam unit as well. And then after the real grade, you move on to the slightly larger scale 1:100 master grade. And then if you have got the patience and the skill set as well as space in your house, then consider the 1:60 scale perfect grade. And obviously you have even larger scale after that, but they are quite rare, and I think there are limited supply of those larger scaled units. But the most common ones are the high grade, real grade, master grade, and perfect grade. So choose from those 4. And from what I've been told, if you want to get a decent Gundam kit, it is best to choose any Bandai Gundam kit that is dated after 2009. Let's say start from 2010. Those kits are a lot better in terms of the quality of the plastic runners, as well as the overall build experience seems to be a bit better if the Gundam kit is dated from 2010 onwards. So my recommendation, start with something small and then build up your skills to move on to the larger scale unit. So let's take a closer look at the Unicorn Gundam. I will take the new Gundam away for now. So the Unicorn Gundam, it does have quite a lot of articulation. The head unit, you can turn it 360, it tilt forward, backward, and the arms, standard joints. I wish they have the double joints unit option, but this is a standard high grade Gundam, so I can't expect too much from Bandai. If you do want to have the Unicorn Gundam in better details as well as the double joints function, then go for the real grade. They are available. You just need to look around to find the right unit at the right price that you're willing to pay. Otherwise, just a high grade is pretty nice as well, and I could strongly recommend you to get one of these to add to your collection as well. And then moving on to the waist unit, you could spin them left and right, and I'm just checking to see if it has the, yep, it does have the ab crunch, so you can lean the upper body forward and backwards. The armor around the waist, they are all movable, so you could lift them up if you want, depends on what pose you're striking. The front skirt, you can see they are separate. You just need to cut the one piece to split them into left and right, otherwise they move together, the left and right front skirt. And then the hips, or where the legs connect to the hips, is through a ball joint. The separation between the upper leg and the lower leg has a single joint right there, and then around the ankle area there is another connection there. So there's a lot of movement for you to play with and to position the Unicorn Gundam. Just by just by standing the Unicorn Gundam on his feet is quite nice as well, as you can see. But if you want to strike other poses, then I would strongly recommend you to get the action base. Then you could lift the Unicorn Gundam in mid-air, and then you could pose other kind of attacking position. So what else is there? The only thing that I don't like about this high grade unit is it doesn't come with any beams for the beam saber. They have given you 1, 2, and then there's another 3 and 4 of the beam saber handles, which is tucked underneath or behind the elbow. So that's another one, and that's the other one there. And you could take them out, but then you don't have the beam provided in the kit, so you will have to rob from your other 1:144 scaled Gundam unit to get the beam if you want to use the beam saber to pose the Unicorn Gundam. But otherwise, I think this kit is pretty perfect, just missing the beam. Weapon wise, as you can see, it does come with a fairly detailed beam rifle. It does look really good, so I'll bring it a bit closer for you guys to see. Oh, stay focused, there you go. It is quite a nice beam rifle, and if you are planning to color it, I think it might be a good idea, and I might do that at a later stage just to cover up those string marks. But the details are there, and likewise for the shield, there's also a lot of parts separation for the shield as well. I'm quite pleased with the shield, the construction of the shield as well. I think it's quite detailed, and also the backpack has got a lot of part separation as well. So all in all, I'm very happy with the Unicorn Gundam in its destroy mode. And here you can see the backpack with a lot of details on it. So now what I want to show you is, if you somehow manage to run the LED kit inside the Unicorn Gundam to make these translucent parts glow. I can't do that obviously, but I have a way to make them glow, kind of, by basically just to shine a light through from behind, and hopefully you will be able to see the result. So let me have that set up and I will come back to you guys shortly. So no promises, but hopefully it will show up. Well, hopefully you guys will be able to see those red parts kind of slightly glowing. But anyway, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Here we are. What do you guys think? You can see the translucent parts glowing. It's not any fancy special effects. It's as simply as I just shine a LED light from behind to project the light through the body, but you could clearly see those translucent parts glowing. So I reckon if you are able to run the LED units through either the high grade or the master grade, or even the perfect grade, which they offer a separate LED unit that you could purchase, it will look something like that. And obviously the head units also glow, which I'm not able to replicate because there's no clear parts on the back of the head unit. But overall, through the body, you are able to see the translucent red parts glowing, and I think it looks pretty unique. You know, that Bandai has provided those parts, so you could either do the basic solution by putting a light source from behind, or you could consider retrofitting a LED unit inside to make those armors glow. But I'm really happy with just the basic special effect with the LED torch behind. And I know it is quite difficult for me to display this in my cabinet with the light behind, but I might try to find something similar to see if it will work. But anyway, I just want to show you guys, you know, what it looks like in the dark. Or if you have a blue light, you can shine the blue light directly to the Unicorn Gundam, and you will see the translucent part glow in the dark as well, which is rather cool. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I could advise on when building the Gundam. I think it's quite a nice build for the Unicorn Gundam. My only comment to add is just because this unit has a lot of tiny parts combined together, and certain parts are actually really small, and it might be a little bit difficult for you to handle, either when you are assembling the arms or legs, or even if you want to file or clean the sim lines or the cut marks. So just something to bear in mind of. It is a very nice Gundam unit, but you just need to have a little bit more patience than normal when assembling this, and especially if you are not just, you know, cutting out the parts from the runners and then a quick build. And if you have got some expectations or preference, then, you know, do take your time to cut out the parts and sand them and file them smoothly before the final assembly, and you guys will be very happy with the end result. And also another thing, as I mentioned earlier, when using the panel liners, make sure you clean them out one by one to make sure the panel lines are staying as fine as possible but yet visible. Otherwise, if you have got thick lines everywhere, then it doesn't look as nice, and also you can't really kind of make the Unicorn Gundam look like real. You can tell by the thick lines that, you know, that is definitely a smaller high grade 1:144 scale unit. So I think that is all that I would like to share with you guys. I hope you guys like the Unicorn Gundam, especially with the glowing effect. I really like it. I really like it actually. I think it looks really good comparing to the new Gundam. You know, you won't have anything that, you know, shine through the body armor, whereas the Unicorn does, and I think that's very unique to the Unicorn Gundam itself. So that's all from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give me a like, and if you like the contents of my channel regarding scale model of the Gundam unit, or Tamiya motorbike, or even the usual scale model cars, then please consider to subscribe to my channel. And if you have got any questions or comments, then please feel free to add them in the comment box below, and I will come back to you fairly quickly. So until my next video, whatever it may be, I hope you guys have fun either collecting your model cars, or have fun building and collecting your scale model kit. Do enjoy your hobby, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now, guys.